The Antarctic Peninsula is one of the most isolated environments on Earth. With its freezing temperatures and vast, lightless waters, it provides a perfect sanctuary for life that remains entirely undocumented by science. Within these waters, rumors persist of a 90-foot biological titan, a pale, massive shape that glides through the currents beneath heavy sheets of ice. The creature is known as the Ningen. It occupies a deeply strange space in maritime lore, described not as a typical whale, but as a gargantuan aquatic humanoid. A 90-foot predator adapted for these conditions challenges our current models of deep-sea ecology. If real, it suggests the ocean can still hide a biological powerhouse of this immense scale. Its facial anatomy is distinctive. Reports describe a bulbous, necklace head with a slit-like mouth and two large, forward-facing black eyes that lack lids. The upper torso lacks a dorsal fin. Instead, two muscular appendages, stretching 20 feet long, end in five-fingered webbed hands. For movement, the creature relies on its lower half. As shown in this full-body view, the humanoid torso tapers into a massive, horizontal fluke tail, similar to that of a whale. This hybrid anatomy is suited for the crushing pressures of the Antarctic trenches, allowing a 90-foot frame to navigate the deep with agility. This mystery began to take shape in the 1980s and 90s, documented within the logs of Japanese whale research ships. At first, mariners watching from a distance misidentified what they saw. They recorded these bone-white shapes in their logs simply as living icebergs. That classification changed when the sailors realized these masses were moving against the current. They watched the vessels, showing a level of awareness that the crew described as sapient. The creature would move just beneath the surface at high speeds, leaving a massive horizontal wake behind its 90-foot form. The isolation of the Southern Ocean added to the weight of these encounters. Many researchers reportedly kept these sightings out of official records to avoid the professional consequences of reporting a cryptid. One major report comes from a research vessel caught in heavy Antarctic fog. The low visibility created a sense of total isolation just before the entity appeared. This photograph captures the scale of the encounter. As the 90-foot entity swam alongside the ship, the crew was able to see the bulbous head and smooth skin of the surface. Before diving, the creature extended its long, webbed arms. It then slipped beneath the hull, leaving only a trail of bubbles from its fluke tail. By the late 90s, reports expanded to include commercial fishermen. They described a human-faced whale that would surface near their boats at night. These crews noted a sorrowful expression in the creature's eyes and an icy mist that sprayed from its blowhole whenever it exhaled. Because these independent crews reported the same specific features across different decades, the sightings became difficult to ignore. Today, the Ningen has moved from sailor stories into the sights of modern technology. Deep-sea cameras and sonar are now being used to track anomalies in the Southern Ocean. Ships currently in the Antarctic are using active sonar to scan the specific coordinates where historical sightings were most frequent. Files like this one, marked Project Ningen, suggest older photographic evidence is cross-referenced with modern tracking data. The metrics in this digital scan show an active biological target, highlighting an estimated 90-foot length and depth of 150 meters. The existence of these records show that the Ningen sightings are being logged and analyzed as potential biological targets. This leaves us with two possibilities. Either the Ningen is a species that has managed to avoid scientific classification, or it is a legend born from the psychological pressure of the abyss. Given the vastness of the Southern Ocean, it remains possible for a massive creature to stay hidden within its unexplored regions. The interest in the Ningen stems from a desire to find something unknown in the few remaining gaps on our map. Whether it is a biological reality or a modern myth, the Ningen serves as a powerful reminder that the deep, lightless waters of the Antarctic still hold secrets. We assume modern sonar and satellite arrays have eliminated the possibility of undocumented leviathans. The global grid suggests the ocean is a fully mapped, known quantity. But the Antarctic Circle contains a massive blind spot. Beneath the frozen crust lies a network of subglacial caverns, where 90-foot heat signatures actively evade the detection grid above. The raw morphological data hitting monitoring stations describes something entirely distinct from known cetaceans. We are tracking a bone-white entity with a massive fluke tail, a bulbous, necklace head, and long humanoid arms. Field encounters ground these numbers in physical reality. Those operating near the ice shelves report five-fingered, webbed hands breaking the surface, guided by an intelligence that watches from the luminous blue depths. The existence of this biological mirror is now verified through the independent findings of three separate disciplines: optics, acoustics, and genetics. The macro-level visual evidence began off the coast of Namibia in 2005, when an orbital satellite array locked onto a massive white shape moving steadily south toward Antarctica. This digital sonar readout isolates the target data. Pixel analysis confirms a bone-white humanoid torso measuring 90 feet. Notice the specific morphological markers. The absence of a dorsal fin rules out whales, while trailing 20-foot-long appendages match human arms. To navigate deep ocean currents, the creature relies on smooth, blubbery skin and a massive horizontal fluke, undulating to generate immense forward thrust. Orbital cameras gave us the physical parameters. To understand its internal biology, researchers had to track it underwater. In 2014, a research team deployed deep-water submersibles into the Weddell Sea to capture localized sensory data beneath the ice. This display shows the ultra-low frequency waveform captured during that dive, isolating massive, sustained groans. The physics of producing this sound at Leviathan volume requires a 90-foot resonating chamber, mimicking a human voice scaled up to the size of a submarine. The acoustic chamber perfectly overlays with the 90-foot optical silhouette. We had the shape, and we had the sound. The final step was finding the tissue. That physical proof emerged in 2022 from the harsh sub-zero environment of the Ross Ice Shelf. Researchers recovered biological tissue from the ice. Initial cellular analysis revealed high-density blubber, perfectly adapted for survival in the freezing southern void. This DNA sequence analysis chart identifies a blended phenotype within the recovered tissue sample, specifically isolating the genetic markers for humanoid skeletal development. The recovered cells anchor the orbital tracks and the acoustic recordings directly into the biological record. The creature is made of flesh and bone, optics, acoustics, and genetics. Three completely independent avenues of investigation all converge on a single point: a 90-foot aquatic humanoid living off the coast of Antarctica. Between the vocal mimicry of human sounds and the persistent monitoring of our research vessels, the data suggests an intelligence that mirrors our own on a Leviathan scale. Our surface maps mean nothing to a creature that uses the subglacial trenches as a sanctuary, as long as those large black disputed master of the southern oceans.